Welcome to another installment of Playoffs or Bust, and today we're talking about the Los Angeles Clippers. So, the Clippers, they're an interesting case. All right, I think everybody understood last season, except for Paul George, that last year was championship or bust. I feel as though they made a lot of moves and signed a lot of names that you wouldn't unless you felt like you had a championship team. Everybody was on that wavelength or that frequency, whichever word you prefer. Except for Paul George, because he made comments that it wasn't. Like I think he was just trying to ease the defeat, and the meltdown that they had. But they were definitely in championship mode. I think this year is the exact same thing. It's championship or bust for them. You don't make the moves of acquiring players like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and going to get players like Reggie Jackson, signing them late in the year, and Marcus Morris. You don't do that type of stuff if you're not in championship contention. Right? You don't think you're a contender. You don't think this is your year for the title. This year, they are trying to, re-up. They did lose Trez, but I think they lost him for the better because they got a better fit for that team. I think that offense is important, but one thing for this Clippers defense, the Clippers team, is their defense. Their defense will carry them a long way. Right? PG can get you buckets anytime except the playoffs, it looks like. But Kawhi can get you buckets. Then you have Lou Will that can get you buckets. We'll see how long he stays there. You have Serge that can shoot the three. And then you have Reggie Jackson, who's not a slouch on offense either. So, I mean, they have the potential. And, I almost forgot about Luke Kennard. That trade for Luke Kennard was a game changer because they needed that three-point shooting. Phenomenal. He's a great three-point shooter. I love the pickup for them. But the difference is they do have a different head coach. This year, I do want to see what Ty Lue is made of. I think that he hasn't had a fair shot post LeBron, right? So after LeBron left, his teams have been trashed. They gave up on him and they shipped him out of here. This team is better suited for him, is well-rounded. I won't say it's low ego, but I will say it's a talented roster. So I want to see what type of schemes he can come up with and see if that can have some playoff success. Now, overall, obviously they're a contender. I think they can get any seed between 1 and 3. Depending upon how many games they rest, how rested are they. They did have a deeper playoff run as well. So a lot of teams that made the playoffs, I'm concerned about their rest and how they'll manage it, and if that kind of will throw some games for them and kind of skew the record, if that makes sense, and like mess up the seeding. So with them having a nice playoff run, making it to the second round. They haven't had a lot of time to rest, and then with it being a shortened season, I don't know how many games Kawhi would rest. But overall, they are in a great position for the West. A lot of pressure is off of them because the Warriors won't be as great as they should have been with Clay getting injured again. Them kind of scrambling. But looking at it now, I think that the Clippers definitely are a lock for the 2 seed. Potentially can get 1 depending upon how the Lakers rest. But as far as a championship, I'm not sure. I don't know if that mental toughness is there. I don't know if we're going to enter another bubble during the postseason. So if we enter another playoff bubble, is that going to mentally affect them again this year? Like with COVID being still going on, I don't know how these players are going to handle it. They will be traveling this year, and who knows if players catch COVID, how they're going to shut games down and reschedule and do all that. But I think they are positioned to definitely be a contender in the West and basically a title contender. So we'll definitely see. Let me know what you guys think in the description, the comment section down below. Do you guys think that the Clippers will be a playoff team or a title contender? Do you think this is championship or bust year for them? Stay blessed.